I'm looking for somebody to answer questions about absentee ballot voting. Where do I go to do this?
Yeah, I think we can help you. Go ahead, have a seat.
What do you mean you think you can help me? You're really sure?
I'm pretty sure we can.
Okay, I want to hear that. Yeah, I've got 4 questions that my friends and I came up with. We're concerned about absentee voting, and these are some of our concerns. First question is, I like to see my friends and neighbors at the voting place. It's kind of a festive atmosphere. And if I do absentee ballot voting, we're going to miss all that. It just becomes kind of insipid and unfriendly, kind of. Well, how do you answer that?
When it comes to voting in the environment that we're in right now, with COVID-19 and the pandemic, there is some difficulty that we know that's going to come when it comes to voting in person. And so voting absentee it's certainly going to take away that social aspect, but it is going to be the safest way for you to vote. And it is a provision that we voted in when we voted in Prop 3 because we wanted to have this option. Now, you still have the option to vote in person, but we have to do it with the understanding that it is not necessarily the safest way right now, and understanding also that the lines will probably be longer. You'll have to socially distance. There is a difficulty right now when it comes to obtaining poll workers because of the pandemic. And so you might miss out on this, but it will be the safest way. But you will still have the option either way, whichever way you would like to vote.
My second question is that, will my vote be counted? If I send it through the mail, it could get lost. I want to see it go into the box. And so how do we deal with that?
And that's a concern that a lot of people have expressed. But with Prop 3, one of the things that's also been put into place are greater auditory standards. And so there are audits that will be done to ensure that votes are counted. There's also something that the Secretary of State has put in place where you can track your ballot. You can track everything that takes place when it comes to where you are in the process, when it comes to when you get when your application is received by the Secretary of State, when your ballot is sent out by your clerk. All of those things can be tracked in the system all the way through the process. And so the concern, I think, is pretty much nullified, if not just muted, when it comes to any concerns that you might have when it comes to your ballot. Now, one other thing I'll say, and that is that when it comes to mailing the ballot, we suggest that you mail it out as early as possible because of the fact that when you put it in the mail stream, it has to go through the processing stream as well. There are other options that your clerk has put in place, which are drop boxes. The drop boxes are safe, they're accessible, and it takes away the gap between the post office and your clerk receiving your ballot. So take advantage of the drop boxes. It'll also save you on postage as well if you come in and use the drop boxes to get your ballot into the system. And one other thing, you have until 8 p.m. on the day of election to get that ballot in.
I got a friend who's in jail and he can't vote. What kind of system do we have in this country? I don't understand that. It doesn't sound like a democracy to me.
Well, he can vote if he has not yet been arraigned. So he can vote at that point. Also, if he is out on parole, he can vote. If he's out on bail or he's on probation, he can still vote.
My last question is, my son's in North Carolina. He's at college. He's been told he has to come home and vote. I mean, this is hundreds of miles away. What's going on here? I mean, what's that about?
It used to be that way, but now under Proposition 3, if he signs up for an absentee ballot, then that absentee ballot will be sent to him in North Carolina so he can vote. So he does not have to come home. That was true before Proposition 3, but it is no longer true.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I won't shake your hands, but I'll do it. Dan, see you.